the month of February. ZBM will bring you exclusive live coverage from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, beginning at 12:30 p.m. For more information on sponsorship, email sales@bbc.bm or call 295-2828 and ask for our sales department.
Season's greetings from the Bermuda Public Service Union. The Executive, General Counsel, and Secretariat wish you a happy holiday and peaceful and prosperous New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. You can count on us.
Your choice, potatoes, 5-pound bag, just $4.89. Fresh Purdue chicken drumsticks at $1.89 per pound. Lay's chips, 6.5-ounce bag, hot price, $3.49. Tama macaroni 500-gram bag, only $1.69. Yoplait yogurt, 6-ounce tub, hot price 99 cents. Have a very Merry Christmas from the marketplace.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Thursday, December the 20th, 2018. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Gatwick Airport was thrown into chaos due to disruptions caused by illegal drones flying in the airspace, affecting tens of thousands of travelers this holiday season. And flights to Bermuda tonight have been canceled with no indication from Gatwick officials as to when the runway will reopen. Jasmine Patterson brings us up to date.
Air traffic at London's Gatwick Airport ground to a halt last evening after officials sounded the alarm over rogue drone sightings in Gatwick's airspace. Around 760 flights due to fly today were cancelled, affecting tens of thousands of passengers. This includes British Airways Flight 2233 that was due to arrive in Bermuda this evening from Gatwick ahead of the Christmas holiday.
What else could they do? They could put them on a flight to New York. But then that's getting to New York and then them having to go over to the next terminal, and then that's a how many hours layover. They have money, you know, that's why I was willing to pay someone. My girls don't need to be looked after, but if someone else is there, then at least they can say, well, okay, Mom, this person, you know, we're with this adult, you know. They're 16, they're very responsible, they're very well traveled. They know how to get from point A to point B very easily, and but it's just knowing that this delay, possible cancellation, you know, the drones, you know, I've been following it.
According to the BBC, officials say the disruption could last several days and the airport would not open until it's safe to do so. Drones pose a considerable threat to planes when airborne.
It would be hard to avoid if you saw one at the last moment. That's the problem for drones hitting an aircraft, mid-air collision, which in worst-case scenario would have resulted in an aircraft crash and a body count.
Sussex police said it was not terror-related, but a deliberate act of disruption using industrial specification drones. Commercial drones usually have built-in software to prevent it entering restricted areas.
Now, if you've got an older version, you do not need to upgrade the software, and this restriction will not be there on your particular machine. From what I've read of the incident in Gatwick, it's a somewhat larger piece of equipment, more of an industrial drone, and people these days will probably find ways of circumventing the restrictions that are placed in the software that comes with the product.
A glimmer of hope coming from an announcement by BA, which has now arranged for an aircraft from London Heathrow to Bermuda to operate the BA 2232 flight out of the island tonight. In addition, customers traveling to or from Gatwick today and tomorrow have been given options to rebook or refund their travel plans. And tighter security measures may be up for consideration locally as a result of this ordeal.
We have put procedures in place, and like most things in aviation, everything works on the degree of trust. So therefore, this is a bit of an eye-opener for us, the occurrence at Gatwick, and we will be having discussions within the authority to assess the outcome of this and what we do in future.
BA passengers are encouraged to keep up to date with flight details by going to ba.com. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. If you know someone in the UK scheduled to fly to Bermuda and can assist the family of Lisa James, you can reach out to her on Facebook. We'll have the latest weather news and more after the break. Stay with us.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs. For their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
You can count on us.
Fresh green beans, hot price only $2.69 per pound. Fresh top sirloin roast, best price around at $7.99 per pound. Dozen large white eggs, hot price $1.99. Pepperidge Farm herb stuffing, 8-ounce bags, hot price only $2.59. Save $2.20 on Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, 75-ounce bottles, hot price $9.79. Have a very Merry Christmas from the marketplace.
You can count on us.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
The year-end clearance sale is now on at Bermuda Motors. Cargo ships bringing our 2019 models will be arriving soon. To make room, we're offering the lowest prices of the year on these models. Ford Figo, our hatchback with cutting-edge technology. Ford EcoSport, big on comfort, safety, and power. Toyota Avenza, the perfect balance of style and function. Toyota Prius C, our fuel-efficient 5-door hybrid. So hurry, prices are available until the end of the year or while our inventory lasts at Bermuda Motors.
Welcome back. The Department of Health is investigating the circumstances that led to a student accidentally amputating their own finger at Cedar Bridge Academy in what is described by sources as a woodwork incident. The Department of Education is calling it an industrial action that took place at the school on December the 6th. It resulted in the pupil being rushed to the hospital with what officials only describe as a serious injury. The child's parents were immediately contacted and were at the hospital. A representative at the school reported that the student has returned to school, that a meeting was held with parents, and a support team is assisting the student and parents to address any concerns following the incident. The Department of Health was contacted and an investigation was launched. In addition, the school safety and health team is continuing their investigation into this matter. Education Commissioner Kalmar Richards quoted as saying on hearing about this incident, "We at the Department of Education were relieved to find out that the student is well enough to return to school, and we extend best wishes to the student and parents." The department and the Cedar Bridge Board of Governors will continue to facilitate and support all external and internal investigations. The quote continues, "It's not clear how exactly the student's injury came about." Government today released a new educational video intended to show residents what to expect when going through a roadside sobriety checkpoint. Minister of Tourism and Transport Zane De Silva said it was important to show a realistic depiction of what a sobriety checkpoint looks like.
This video will serve as a tool to further inform the public about what to expect when going through a sobriety checkpoint, and it will serve to aid to overall effort to decrease drink driving in Bermuda.
The video starring local actors depicts two people going through a sobriety checkpoint, one sober driver and one drunk driver. It'll be shown at the Transport Control Department, on CITV, and on social media.
sir. How you doing?
I'm ready, officer. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Tonight we're conducting a roadside sobriety test. By any chance, do you consume any alcohol tonight?
No, I'm just on my way home from work, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate your patience.
All right,
I'm right, safely.
You have a good one, too.
Ma'am, how are you? Can you do me a favor, just turn the music down for me? Thank you. Tonight we're conducting the roadside sobriety test.
Yeah.
By any chance, did you consume any alcohol tonight? Yeah. I do smell some intoxicating liquor coming from your breath. How much did you have to drink?
Not a lot, just a little.
We just didn't ask you to step outside the car.
You understand what's going on tonight?
Yeah.
We are doing road sobriety checks today, and as a result of my co-workers' observations, you've been sent to me to conduct a preliminary impairment test. So we're going to conduct the test now, okay?
Stop.
All right, miss. How many seconds do you think that was?
30.
Think that was 30?
30.
Okay. It was actually 9 seconds. Miss, unfortunately, you appear to be impaired, and as a result of that, I'm going to have you blow into our breathalyzer, okay? Take a deep breath, and blow. Miss, I'm sorry to inform you that you've actually failed the test. You blew 199, and the pass is 80. Watch your head, ma'am.
It's never okay to drink and drive. In other news, government's new finance minister, Curtis Dickinson, recently gave reassuring words surrounding the pension scheme. Minister Dickinson said it's all about solving problems.
We continue to look at pension reform. How do we address the problem? We're working on developing a plan. Our actuaries are actually working on advising us around the numbers for 17-18. So I'll wait till that report comes in before I can
17-18?
17-18. So the actuaries do work on prior reports, prior experience, and then they provide us with a report, and then we take a series of actions, make a series of recommendations around how we move forward.
If you're a member of the public out there listening, what assurances can you give the elderly who really are relying on that pension that things are going to be worked out, it's going to be all right?
There are two plans, and sometimes social insurance gets confused with contributory pensions. Social insurance is, I talked about social insurance last week, where we awarded seniors a 1.4% cost of living increase. That plan is strong and can sustain itself. The other plan is the pension, the government contributory pension plan that government employees and members of the Senate and the House pay into. That plan is underfunded, that's well known. We're working on plans, finding ways of shoring up that plan. But people should remain confident that we are working on addressing the issues, and I'm hopeful that we can find a solution that works for everybody.
Okay, got to put you on the spot now, Mr. Dickinson. What's it like in the hot seat as finance minister? Got a big job on your hands.
I have a big job. It's not the first time I've had a big job, and it's about solving problems, and there are several things to work on, and we're tackling things one at a time. I think the thing that I have to kind of remain stable with is keeping a calm head and just trying to be thoughtful about solving problems.
Turning to weather news, a low-pressure system will bring strong winds for Friday and showers on Saturday. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for the details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and as we take a look at the big picture right now, you can't help but notice the big mess out toward the East Coast. And well, eventually, as that storm system starts to pull away, it will bring a cold front into the area, but we still have a couple of days up until then. We've had high pressure trying to nudge its way in over the island here, so not too bad of a night in store for you. We will start to see the winds picking up, but besides that, relatively quiet, at least until the start of the weekend. So here we have temperatures tonight sitting in the upper 60s, not too bad, humidity around 60%, and we do have winds coming in out of the southeast between 10 and 14 knots. The water temperature 67 degrees, waves inside the reef 1 to 2 feet, and outside of the reef we're looking at waves anywhere from 3 to 5 feet. Now we continue to have some choppy conditions out on the water, so you know what that means. We do have a small craft warning that goes into effect Friday morning into Saturday. So heads up if you had any kind of plans on heading out toward the water. You can see your tidal times right here. We have our low tide coming in after 12:30 Friday morning, and the next high tide coming in after 7 o'clock in the morning. So overnight tonight, mainly quiet conditions, temperatures staying in the mid-60s here, partly cloudy, a little bit breezy. And as I mentioned, we will have the winds with us at least for tonight and also into tomorrow as well. But look at the temperatures. Talk about a mild surge. We've experienced that today. We'll get into the low 70s tomorrow for your daytime high and a low temperature of 68 degrees. Now, as we get into our future cast here, you can see high pressure right over us, trying to keep things nice and tranquil, but that storm system is going to be moving its way to the north and east, and that will drag a cold front. Ahead of the cold front on Saturday, winds are going to be quite gusty. However, winds are going to be coming in from the south, so that's going to help keep the temperatures a bit on the mild side, and then we will welcome the rainfall once we head into the overnight hours there. So we'll tell you more about the extended forecast. We want to fill you in on what's going on in a few other locations. No tropical development now that we are in December. Jamaica, clouds and sunshine, temperatures in the low 80s, also in the low 80s there in Barbados, and in Trinidad, we do have just a couple of spotty showers around. Tomorrow, it's a washout throughout the East Coast with that storm system. New York City, however, looking at mild temperatures right around 60 degrees for them. Atlanta also wet, and even wet in Boston with a high of 62 degrees. Here's a look at the extended forecast. Again, as that frontal boundary approaches, we'll get that warm air ahead of it. So the next couple of days, temperatures are going to get into the low 70s, possibly the mid 70s by Saturday, but more clouds on Saturday, also some rain, maybe even a stray thunderstorm. And then after that, it's looking pretty good as the holiday approaches.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Getting more expensive to borrow money in Bermuda as the U.S. Central Bank raised interest rates again yesterday. The Bank of N.T. Butterfield & Son Limited said the base rate for Bermuda dollar residential mortgages and consumer loans will increase in lockstep with the Fed's 25 basis point rate rise, and it will increase the deposit rate by the same amount. Clarion said it would hold off. It's unclear what action HSBC will take. On the breakdown tonight, Tony Waterman looks at the interest rate environment and asked Butterfield Managing Director Michael Neff why the U.S. interest rate is so much lower than the rates in Bermuda.
The reason for the difference are a number of factors. First, back to that lender of last resort. So we don't have access to the Fed window the way large banks in the United States do, so that's a factor. The other factor is the cost of doing business here. So we have, just as many other businesses here, face higher costs for almost everything we do than comparative to the United States of America. So that has to get built into the spread. The other factor, which I think is important, again, not having a Federal Reserve or a central bank here, is that we have to have more capital set aside.
And again, you can catch that entire interview on The Breakdown with Tony Waterman at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9. In other news, the Commissioner of Education, Kalmar Richards, today advised that all students in the Bermuda public school system, except those attending preschool, will now return to school on January the 3rd, 2019. Preschool students will return to school on January the 2nd, 2019. Mrs. Richards said the Department of Education remains committed to working collaboratively with parents and teachers and principals to improve the outcomes of students in the system. The academic calendar, which changed, was at the request from the Bermuda Union of Teachers to provide training for standards-based grading at the primary and middle school levels. Additionally, on January the 2nd, principals and school staff will participate in school-based professional development as requested by our senior school and special school principals. Quote, "Let me take this opportunity to extend our apologies for any inconvenience caused by the change in the academic calendar." Once again, coming from Ms. Kalmar Richards. Coming up, Earl Basin with tonight's Sports Roundup. We'll be right back.
Getting ready for Christmas is all about the finishing touches.
The icing on the cake. The table neatly set. Decorations specially placed. And gifts thoughtfully wrapped. All to share with those we love. In special moments as simple as this.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Colonial, where people come first.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the breakfast bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
When it's happening now, you can't beat the immediacy of radio.
Chance to hear the thoughts of acclaimed author.
No matter where you are.
I'm Darlene Livingston with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
When events are spectacular, television is by far the best media platform.
Why now this particular topic?
For sports action, well, need we say more? Broadcast reporters put elected officials on the spot, keeping them honest and accountable to voters. And they can explain things in ways we all understand.
Climbs up to 12.5%.
Broadcast news is important. We're your eyes and ears on the ground. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. In good times and bad. Radio's your constant companion.
On the big station, Power 95.
And TV news is the news.
Based on what you're seeing.
And Bermuda Broadcasting is your station.
Turning to sports, a debate on the Belongers ruling was held. Coral Beach announced a new tournament for 2019, and a Bermuda young swimmer breaks records in Canada. Earl Basin has the details and much more in tonight's sports package.
During a debate on the Belongers ruling, Nick Williamson, the spokesperson for Equal Opportunity in Sports Group, and the director of Youth and Sport, Norbert Simons, heard a caller say that a sport has already been approved to have a person represent the country.
There's already a case where someone has gone forward, actually, and presented paperwork to a sports governing body overseas, and they accepted it, they understood it, and that was before the court ruling. Now you have the court ruling to back that up. It is the law. And if anyone in Bermuda doesn't comply, sporting body refuses entry to an athlete, what basically will happen is that they will probably end up in court because they're discriminating against somebody who belongs to Bermuda. And someone who belongs to Bermuda is a Bermudian, a BDOTC citizen, which is what Bermudians are because they are British nationals. They fall into one of 7 or 8 categories of British nationality. So really, everyone just needs to work together because this boosts our athlete pool. It's all good for Bermuda.
The Coral Beach and Tennis Club will play host to a new United States Tennis Association championship in 2019, as well as hosting the second Bermuda Breeze tournament. Making the announcement was Nick Bola, the hotel general manager.
This year, we're very pleased to announce a brand new tournament that we have proposed to the United States Tennis Association, and in April and in October we'll have two additional tournaments. So the new tournament takes place between October 30th and November 3rd, known as the Bermuda Family Tournament. This is the new tournament that we have introduced to the calendar, and thrilled to hopefully bring a couple of hundred visitors in the course of the year for these particular tournaments. The April tournament is going to be the second annual Bermuda Breeze Championships, taking place over the Easter break between the 15th and 21st of April.
Bermuda Tourism Authority Director of Sports Hazel Clark says these type of events are right in line with the BTA's platform.
As a part of our sports tourism strategy, we've been able to identify the sports that are the right fit for Bermuda, that have had a history being successful with economic benefit to Bermuda, that we have good infrastructure to support events like this, you know, kind of the more high-profile events, and tennis is certainly one of those sports. So this is very much in line with our tourism strategy. At the end of the day, we look for innovation. We look for events that are cultivated by organizers that have authenticity, that, as you said, bring obviously visitors, that showcase the island.
Coral Beach Sports Director Patrick Singleton is pleased that the club will host 2 USTA tournaments in 2019.
The USTA was so happy with our first tournament last year that they said, you know, we had to bid on both the tournaments. You have to bid every year, and they said, when is it coming back? What are the dates that you can do for April? And we said, you know, these are the dates over Easter. We hope we can have attract a lot of people looking for a nice vacation, you know, from the East Coast, coming out of the cold. And then we said, well, look, what about a tournament in October? Because historically the club has run tournaments in April and in October, November to help you know, in the shoulder season, and it fit right within the BTA's objectives. So we proposed it to them, a doubles family tournament, and they absolutely loved the idea.
Elon Daly was back in the water competing in the Ontario Junior International Swim Meet at the Toronto Pan American Sports Centre competition pool. 13-year-old Daly was competing in an 18 and under age group event that attracted a total of 85 senior teams from places such as England, Scotland, Japan, and various national Canadian teams. Both Daly's 50-meter freestyle times would break the Bermuda national record times. Daly's 50-meter freestyle time of 25:98 was faster than Madeline Moore's time of 26:12. She set back on March 19th, 2015. She would go faster in the final when she was clocked at 25:97. Daly would anchor a 4x100 medley relay team, swimming the freestyle leg, and had to beat her own personal record time and swim a 55.6 to get the Canadian national record for her team. She beat her personal best, touching the wall in a time of 55.3, which is just 0.13 of a second off of the Bermuda Open age group record currently held by Kira Aiken. The latest NFL mock draft for running backs, Arkansas's DeVar Whaley is projected to go 29th. The 2019 NFL draft top running backs was most recently revised on December 17th. Whaley is yet to declare if he has plans to leave Arkansas early and put his name in the NFL draft. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. In other news, claims that the island could be headed toward another recession due to declining retail sales tonight being refuted by the Progressive Labour Party government. The opposition leader Craig Canadier made the prediction on our newscast Wednesday night after assessing the island's financial outlook. Speaking to our Turai Trot today, Minister Jamal Simmons saying Mr. Canadier was not looking at the bigger picture.
Well, I think it's disingenuous at best, considering the amount of obstacles and opposition they put towards our trying to diversify our economy through fintech, if they're concerned about the economy. But the real issue is this: when we look at retail sales across the globe, retail is struggling. And that's why the government has been encouraging innovation and encouraging the modernization of our local retail sector to be able to meet the needs of a 21st century Bermuda. But when you look at the fact that interest rates on mortgage have gone up for many of our people. When the Premier mentioned it during the throne speech about Bermudians receiving letters where they now have to pay out an extra $800 a month, what do you think happened? Instead of spending on that little extra gift or in that restaurant or in the economy, they're now paying that money to the bank. And so, we recognize the problem, and that's why we're looking at creating a scenario where people will be able to move their mortgages to opportunities at other banks to give them less interest charges. That's why we're looking at innovating local retail through the BEDC, providing more funding and providing more opportunities for Bermudians to get involved. But I think that when we have an opposition that says, on the one hand, we need more people, we say we need more jobs, because their approach is to drop 2,000 people on Front Street from overseas, and we ask, where will they work, and what will happen to the Bermudians who are displaced?
Government is under pressure from the opposition and other groups to allow the mass importation of guest workers to solve the island's economic woes. However, Mr. Simmons is adamant that a sudden rush of foreigners to our shores is not the answer.
Well, I think our position is clear. We believe that there needs to be more jobs as opposed to more people. The question is not a matter of how many people we have on island. The question is a matter of how many Bermudians are working and contributing to the economy. You can't simply drop 100, 200, 2,000 non-Bermudians off Front Street if there's nowhere for them to work. And so that is the clear dichotomy that we see in terms of our approach and the OBA's approach. They want more people. We want more jobs.
That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Good night.
Stepping down, and a government shutdown appears more likely. Severe weather could interfere with travel plans for millions. And we'll meet one of Santa's oldest and happiest elves. All that and much more beginning with the headlines in 60 seconds.